Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Mac Life Pimp Podcast, number one pimp podcast here in the world. Back again for episode number 24 today. We have a heap of shit to go over, but as you can see in the background, we have finally made it. Let me give it a whole computer turn there. Now monetized on YouTube. Well, we're in the review stage. However, I swear there's a conspiracy working against us because today when I woke up, my Google ad account has also been suspended. So I'm not sure if I mentioned it in yesterday's episode, but the ad account has been suspended. I put through a review, and the suspension, if you don't know what it said navigating or circumventing Google's ad policy. And I think that's because I pushed the course and the Onlyfans course content in the description, which is probably against Google's ad policy. So hopefully that doesn't affect the monetization review process in any way, because I know it's the same email that's linked with the Google ads and the YouTube, but I already have an AdSense account, which I think it's automatically linked to, as I explained, because I already ran a pretty successful blog to begin with and used Pinterest and made money through that. So hopefully they don't sync up and find some way to connect. If they do, then all of this YouTube hustle has been for nothing. But anyway, we made it. We got plus 2K subscribers pretty quickly, and now we've done 4,000 watch hours, 4,005 it said this morning. So yesterday alone we clocked up, I believe, 20-30 hours of watch time on this channel. So thank you to everyone for watching and joining the journey so far. It's been pretty exciting. On top of that, I want to give some breakdown on the numbers side of things. So I want to give a breakdown on the numbers side of things. Essentially, from the 9 girls that I have on my current roster, we have systemized everything a lot better through Google Sheets, and essentially my my wonderful employee, she has made it super streamlined with Google Sheets and pretty much updates everything to reflect a daily earnings tabs. Now, between my 9 girls, this is just from subscriptions alone, so not factoring message costs, which is where 90% of the revenue comes in. In the last 2 days, we have clocked between 250 to 300 US a day between the 9 girls' accounts, coming in as net profit. So obviously that's before the 50-50 split with the girls themselves. But the subscriptions alone are already bringing me in around 150 to 100 to 150 USD profit per day alone. And as I explain in every single episode, 90% of the revenue will come from messaging, because you can charge $100 per piece of content. And I want to start off this episode with a little banger as well for everyone. This is something I haven't even mentioned in the course yet. When a lady goes ahead and creates a custom piece of content for you, so say you have a dude, and he wants a custom piece of content, whatever it is, maybe he wants a fingering video, whatever the fuck it is, right? If they spend the time to go and create that custom piece of content, don't just sell it to that dude for $100, sell it to them, and as long as you haven't told them that it's super, super personal, then post on the newsfeed and say, who wants to see me, finger myself, whatever it is, okay? Then dudes will DM, and you're going to pretty much get a larger audience straight away. For that same piece of content, you can max out on it initially, because a few people have probably been holding off for that, and especially as your subscriber base builds, that is the case. So I'm going to create a Google Sheets template. I'm not going to put it in this video below, just for the sake of time, stuff like that. But I am going to add it to the course in the coming days, and then a few days after, I'll add it to YouTube as well. How you can structure a Google Sheet to make everything super systemized, so that you can track the date. These Invisalign are fucking ruining me today. You can track the date, you can track your girls, you can track their daily earnings, and then you can track the weekly earnings. And that makes it super easy when you organize payouts, because you can basically look and say, okay, this is exactly how much I've made. And you have to remember that with the OnlyFans payout, it works on a 7-day rolling basis. So the money that comes through for that week is not that week's profit. That is the next week's profit. So say my girls for the week, these 9 girls, they clock me up, I don't know, a couple thousand. Okay, I have to remember that cash flow hasn't become liquid this week. It is the following week that it's going to be transferred across. And so you don't want to make that mistake with paying your girls either. Or, if you have a big week one week and then you pay, you can diminish your cash flow very quickly. If you have a lot of capital, like moi, it doesn't matter. So that's a bonus of starting with capital. However, if you're just starting out, you want to make sure that and especially if this is your first sort of online business you're running and you're starting out, you want to make sure that you have everything to the T. So it's essential that you have a good employee, or if you're running it yourself, that can update your sheets daily so you know where your numbers are at, because there's a good saying that what gets measured gets managed. Today's more like a financial literacy day from the Onlyfans content rather than just all the bangers I normally drop. A few other things. So yeah, as I was explaining, the Google Ads account banned, failed the review process for circumventing their processes. I am going to just keep reappealing. I usually get calls from Google, which I ignore. The ads team is always ringing and asking, like trying to give support and help. And so I just ignore those calls. But if I get another call, I will take it this time. And on top of that, I'll try and request a call so that I can actually speak with someone and figure out how to fix this. Last method is you can always go ahead and I'm sure you can purchase Google ad accounts from some black hat marketing sites. Okay, so here's a good process that works as well. And this is essentially from a business side of things. Rather than employing more people to do things, okay, pay your current employees a little bit more and ask them to do more, okay? Don't mix this up with asking them to do tasks that are rapidly different, because then their attention becomes diminished. But if it's a task that pretty much relates to the task that they're doing, okay, then by all means have them take over. So for example, the Instagram page that's being grown for the girls. My employee, she is not going to just manage all the girls' messaging like she does, okay, but she also handles the Instagram messaging and then refers anyone who messages across to the OnlyFans. Super, super easy. The job is essentially the same, it's just using a different platform. So rather than employing someone else to focus on that, okay, utilize what you already have. In this case, an employee that's being paid a full-time wage. Now, today's podcast really is a brief one. There isn't as much as normal. I mean, we're excited that we've got the monetization. We need some new goals now as well as the monetization. Now I don't need to check that tab each day. So I guess the next goal is to hit 10K subscribers. And you know the main goal is 100K, but let's get on the little micro goal, which is around 10K. I want to talk to you about the power of a podcast now. And this is essentially why I'm doing this every single day. I feel a podcast in today's world is the most powerful form of media that you can push out. Why? Let me tell you. The long form media, okay, number one, has significant benefits when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. You know, it increases your watch time dramatically. It increases the amount of people that spend time really listening to your thought process and really identifying with you and building a relationship compared to these little 1-minute videos. On top of that, these videos can be chopped up at any time. It doesn't have to be immediately. They can be chopped up at any time into 1-minute segments and then pushed across a mass amount of socials. Gary Vee is big for this. And you'll constantly see that he pushes out videos where, for example, he's done a prediction in a certain year, and when it comes to fruition, okay, then he chops that and puts that out as a 1-minute video. It makes him look like a prophet, and the videos get a lot of viral heat. They're all just long-form media videos that he's put out, and he only has to strike right 10% of the time. And because he's pushed out so much content, okay, he can just publish those in the future as 1-minute videos. It's a really, really smart way of doing it. And the power of a podcast is people can expect to build a relationship with you daily. It's not, and if you do it daily, you know, it's not something like, okay, YouTube video comes out, how do I fix marketplace ban? Okay, dun dun dun, boom, fixed it. Thank you for your help. I have no need for you, unless I have another problem that comes up or something in the same niche you can solve. Okay, I just had a lunch. I had a lunch date today as well, a lunch meeting with my good friend. We were going to catch up, but he's just hit up some Subway, so I'm going around to his house this afternoon for some steaks and beers. So that's just as good anyway. On top of that, a lot of people have been saying, why am I not putting, these Invisalign are killing my speech today. Why am I not putting the content across to Spotify? My goal is to build up such an audience on YouTube first, focus on one platform, and then rather than spending the time each time I upload a podcast, putting it to multiple formats, I will go ahead, once I hit like 1,000 episodes in a year or two, I will go ahead and just pay someone to transcribe all the videos and then publish them as well on Spotify and use the transcriptions from the videos as blog posts, which will give me a mass amount of content, probably cost 5 to 10K. That's fine. Super easy. The ROI will be massive at that stage. Yeah, the podcast, the amount of benefits I recommend if you're in any space, whatever it is, launch a daily podcast if you have the time. Say you're in the sneaker business, okay, and you sell sneakers. You're taking the drop shipping route, or maybe you're manufacturing your own sneakers with your own molds, whatever it is. Talk about it. Talk about the molding process. Talk about how you come up with designs. Talk about, you know, the benefits and the differences of durability of different soles and orthopedic soles, and push out a podcast every single day. Trust me, it won't just convert to sales directly, but the power of personal branding that you'll build over time is fucking immense. So if you don't have a podcast yet, I think everyone should have a fucking podcast. Push one out. Scaling plan, you already know what it is. My 9 girls becomes 12 to 14. I'm waiting on them to basically get their accounts verified. A few of them already have verified accounts with subscribers. I'm just waiting on the contracts to be signed and sent back, capture the ID, and then my team will onboard them, and hopefully we can have them going by tomorrow. That's the game plan, by tomorrow. Have the other girls on. I've got a whole list of new girls there as well, waiting as well, that are asking. A lot of them have 90K followings, 100K followings, 150K followings on Insta. So I'll more than likely take on a few of those, and we should be at 20 by next week. 20 girls on board next week by the latest. With these 20 girls as well, you know, the amount of money that can be turned over is immense. And this isn't like these 9 girls that I have now, it doesn't factor the few secrets that I have going that are generating really large amounts that are paying higher ticket amounts as well. So there's room for tiers, and you should always have tiers and structures and plans depending on the value you can bring and the value that person can bring you. What else have we got in today? Crypto.com/earn. This is not sponsored in any way, and I have nothing to gain by telling you this, but I was looking at the DeFi staking process yesterday, and essentially you can stake money that you can stake crypto that you already have for a return. And when you think the bank already does this, you can get a return for obviously having money sitting in your account. But the average, the national standard here in Australia is around 0.5%. So meaning that the money you store in your bank, each year per annum returns 0.5%. If you calculate inflation with that, you are losing money rapidly. So when you look at staking, and these long-term investments, it's really not about making money as much as it is combating inflation. You just don't want to be losing each year by having it sit there. So Crypto.com, and again, this is not sponsored in any way. This is just something that I'm personally looking at doing myself. I need to do a little bit further investigation with the fees. I know it's free to transfer with the bank. I want to weigh up if there's any other potential risks, such as a wallet hack. I don't feel there is. And then fees to withdraw. There's obviously going to be some small fees there. But if you stake, and I still have to figure out what their CRO is, I imagine it's their own currency. If you stake USDC, which is a stable coin, which doesn't move in price, it's backed 1-to-1, for a period of 3 months, and this is where a lot of people go wrong as well. I'm going to explain this in a second. You are at a period of 3 months per stake, you're receiving back 12% per annum, which is massive. Essentially, if you're putting in, $100,000 sitting it there, you're bringing back 12K per annum. A lot of people get this confused, and they think because they're putting in a 3-month stake, it means they're getting back 12% per 3 months. You're getting back 12% per annum, or 1% per month. You can break it down to 1% per month, or if you're doing 3-term stakes, you can say, I'm getting back, 3%. Super easy. Essentially 100K though, if you dump 100K into there, which I'll probably do in the next few days once I weigh up a few more odds, 100K is going to return me 12K USD per year. And then there's going to be some tacked on little fees on top of that as well. But that's fine. Compared to what that is doing sitting in the bank, why would you not stake it? Other than that, we have pretty much pumped through everything today. Today wasn't really the biggest podcast, as I said, but it's just essential that you push them out every day. People have to know, how the mindset, how your personality is each and every day. And this why I'm doing this is just to record. And you can see some days I might be super pumped. Some days this might be heaps of info. Some days there might be barely any info, but you just get what it's like day to day. The mission hasn't changed. The scaling process is still 20 girls on board of the highest quality. And then after that, which we should have by next week at the latest, then we need 50 girls. And then after 50 girls, I'm going to have to hire someone else full time to be able to manage this. But I need to make sure that their role is specific. That's it for today. Super Chill Podcast. Thank you everyone for joining in and watching. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. If you didn't, I don't care. Don't hit subscribe. Anyway, thanks for watching. Da zavtra, paka paka.